now. Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for everyone that's gonna tune in tonight. Thank you for whomever is on already. We just thank you for taking your time out to be on the Ladies Podcast tonight with the Resilient Chick. Hey, we're back in full effect. How are y'all doing tonight? Listen, we have a topic tonight that's very important, okay? So I just want you all to just listen and dive in. And if you have any questions in the midst of um, the podcast show, just put your questions down in the comment section and we will definitely try to get your questions answered. Okay. All right. So tonight's topic, y'all, listen, it's never easy to talk about trauma or any type of anything that's going to be an exposure, whether it's another person, family, co-worker, whomever. Okay, it's never easy for that. But I tell you one thing: when a person comes forth and want to share their testimony, and they in the midst of not caring who it is, where it is, who it about, or whatever, you have to respect those type of people. Okay. So tonight the topic was given to me. Actually, someone reached out to me, okay, one of the viewers. And I won't release their name, but a viewer reached out to me and asked me to do this subject. And the subject was about, she got to be screwing her son, okay? Let's be realistic. We know what that means. It's actually about a mother who has a relationship with her son that's kind of a little too personal. That seems like they're a little too close, okay? So this is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So if you have any questions in the meantime, in between time, and the viewer is going to be on tonight as well, if they're not already on. So if y'all have any questions that you want to answer, you can relate the question back to me, and I'll kind of see if I can get them to kind of chime in and chat in the discussion as well. And like I said, thank you all tonight for joining the Ladies Podcast, where on Sundays we have Deborah, and hers is Come On Just Conversations at 6:00 sharp. Y'all come on and be with her on Sunday nights. Monday nights, it will be me, the Resilient Chick, at 7:00, where we'll talk about real life issues from domestic violence, trauma, anything consistent of something in your life that's being, causing you any hurt, pain, or whatever. And then on Tuesday night, you have Talk to Lisa. And she'll be on at 6:00. Come and be on with her as well. Then come back Wednesday night. You have Deborah and Lisa, and they'll be on talking about everyday conversations as well. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're gonna have one of us ladies. Okay, it's a ladies podcast, and we're here to answer any questions that we possibly can. We're not professionals now. We're just giving our own self-opinionated answers and our opinionated opinions. So if you would just get on and be with us in those days that's accommodated, okay? And like I said, thank you all again. Hey, Miss Susan Monroe, thank you for joining us. And like I said again, thank you all for taking your time out to be with us tonight. And this topic tonight is very touchy and it's very personal, but we know it is also real, and it's things like this happening in the world today. Like I said, a viewer reached out to me and asked me to share their experience in this area. So this is just not something they wanted to talk about. This is something that they actually experience in a relationship themselves. And I can tell you this person is a male that experienced this. So just know the men are watching and they have issues and they have concerns as well, okay? So thank you all for joining again. And let's go ahead and start out with this first question tonight. The first question is, let's get it down here. Okay, the first question is, what behaviors might suggest that a family relationship is becoming too close in a way that it isn't appropriate? What behaviors might suggest that a family relationship is becoming too close in a way that it isn't appropriate? Okay, so I would say, to me, behaviors will come to, like, sometimes, when they're hugging a little bit too close, or when they, kissing on their cheeks or kissing on the lips, you let them sit in their laps, and they're picking them up and doing all that kind of stuff. To me, that's too much. Is a family relationship. Your family, you can hug your family members, but it's a certain type of touch. It is a certain type of interaction that'll be a little bit too personal. That where you can't be blinded about, what you're seeing, because sometimes what you think you're seeing is actually what you're seeing. Because sitting on the lap of a family member, I think that's inappropriate, unless it's your mom or your dad. But anyone, and then you have to go to a certain extent with that as well, because everybody shouldn't let their children sit on people's laps. And I mean, that's me. That's my perspective of it. So if anybody else have any difference in that, I would love to hear what yours is about. So I feel like sitting on laps, kissing on the lips, kissing on the cheeks in a certain way, telling them that they're pretty and you're so beautiful, your size is this and that. I think all that is like inappropriate. It's inappropriate people outside the family, but when you have it inside the family, that's an issue as well. Because not everything happens outside of the family. Sometimes most things happen inside the family. And a lot of families been taught whatever goes on in the family, stay in the family. Okay. So what the person asked the question was, he was in a relationship with a certain particular person, with a lady friend, and they was in a relationship for years. When the son got a certain age, actually, I think he was around 21, 22, she allowed him to come into the bedroom, and the boyfriend ended up on the couch. Yep, y'all heard that correct. The boyfriend ended up on the couch, and the son ended up in the bedroom. And 21, 20 years old, I think they should stop sleeping in the bed with their parents. I'm thinking around 8, 9, 10 years old. Not like coming in there sleeping, like taking a nap or something, but actually laying down, sleeping in the bed with the parent. That is very inappropriate for a 20 or 21 and up, older age child to be doing that, especially when the mother has a husband or a boyfriend and they put them onto the couch and the son is in the bedroom with the mother. So that's their situation. That's a true situation that went on with them. And they was kind of picking up a little stuff that was going on with that, and they didn't feel comfortable. So how would you feel if that was your situation? What if you felt like you was dating a woman, or the woman you was dating a man, and he moved his daughter in the room and you put you out the room, and vice versa? How would you feel about that? What would that make you feel like? Would it make you feel insecure? It would make me feel insecure. Like, what the child doing that I ain't doing? What can the child be in the bedroom with you for at that age? A grown man, actually, at age 20, 21 years old, he's grown. So I don't feel like he should be in the room with the mother, and the boyfriend end up on the couch. Hi, Deborah. Miss Sue said, I hear you say, what makes anyone think that a man is having a sexual relationship with her son? Is there public affection in an inappropriate matter? What would make anyone think that a mom is having a sexual relationship with her son? Because of the fact that she had a boyfriend, okay? So she allowed the son to do any and everything, okay? She let him do anything he wanted to do, how he wanted to do it. She fixed his food. It's like he took on the role of the boyfriend. It like she allowed him to take on the role as the boyfriend. She cooked him food, brought his food to him. He slept in the room with her. The boyfriend wasn't allowed in the room with her anymore. It like he got pushed to the back burner. Okay, he got pushed to the back burner, and it like she just lost interest in him, and she started showing more affection to the son. And it was just a different type of relationship that they picked up on. And like something wasn't right. Intuition is just not for a woman's intuition. Everybody have discernment, as well. And so they started looking and watching certain things, and it didn't ever change. Never changed. And it just got inappropriate, more and more and more, it got inappropriate. Mm-hmm. So it's a different with the public affection, with the mom. It was just something different. And it wasn't right. Hey, Ronald, how you doing? Thank you for joining tonight. And Miss Suzette, you said so the person is following the child in public. No, not in public. I think it's more like was in the home, in the personal setting of the home. We know sometimes a lot of that happen in the home. A lot of times they don't show it out in public, but it happens inside the home. That's where a lot of the inappropriate touching and a lot of inappropriate actions happen in the home. So a lot of the sexual abuse happens in the home, not in public. A lot of perverts, they hide in public. Hey, sis, your miracle. Yes, girl, we on tonight. Yes. So, yeah. She said fondling. Miss Suzette said fondling is definitely a tale all by the father or the mother. Exactly. Exactly. Fondling is not good at all because that's what it leads up to. When once it starts the fondling, then the fondling leads to, the actual ordeal. So when it started out fondling, everything has a starting point. So once they start with the fondling, and then if they see they can get away with the fondling, they're gonna try to make another move to go to another step. And that's what they do. That's how them perverts are. That's why I don't understand how a lot of women allow their daughters to date older men when they're in their 20s. And the men is in their 50s and 60 years old. To me, they're like open perverts. That to me now, I don't know what nobody else think on that note. Can somebody kind of tell me what you think on that? Do you agree with younger girls dating older men? I know it happened back in the days, years ago, but today's time, I don't feel like it's appropriate for older men to date younger women. Them women are old enough to be their daughters, they're old enough to be their granddaughters. And I think when they're allowed to have, they're just open perverts. They ain't no better than the ones that's secretly doing it. They're no better than they are. To me, they're not. Shamir could say it's twisted and demonic thing. Yes, it is. It is twisted, and the enemy just like he just come in and do just what he feel like he can do. Hello, Magic Smith. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Yes, Deborah. It usually a family member. Yes, absolutely. It usually be the family member. Yes, or a friend of the family. They have to be kind of close to where they can kind of get in and sneak in. And that's when they get in and do all those things, when they feel they can get in and do anything they want to do. That's why you have to have somebody that's going to be watchful, and you're going to have somebody that's going to have a strong sense of discernment to say, you know what, something ain't right. Especially when that person come around, that child begins to act different, you better start taking note of that real bad. Crypto Music Cap said, men that day, younger women most likely is seeking their own twist. It sure is. That's what I feel. It just don't seem right. Like it's something ain't right about that. Nope. I don't agree with that at all. The next questions, y'all, is say, how can you tell if someone is setting boundaries to make sure their family relationship stays healthy and safe? How can you tell if someone's setting boundaries? Well, how I would feel if I can tell if someone's setting boundaries is when if grown adults are coming around and you have children in the place, if the adults say, look, go in there and play with the other kids or go upstairs, and find you something to do, or go outside and find you something to do. Don't sit around grown people. And that's why I feel like if they're setting boundaries, they'll tell the children, don't sit around grown people. Don't sit around in grown people conversations. Don't do that, because you have a lot of kids that are allowed to sit around grown people because that's what they known to do. That's what they've been grown to do. And they don't be corrected in that area. And some of them think it's normal. And that's when a lot of the behavior comes, especially, just say, for instance, if a family member or somebody having a little get together at home, right? And they have kids. And normally, if 9 out of 10, the kids going to be at the house too, So if the grown people are interacting, partying, and you got the children that's in the same household partying along with the parents, and they're running around, sitting around, looking in their mouths, listening to what they're saying, it's like if the person who's hosting are the mother and the father, if someone not paying attention, if you have a sick person mentally that like to prey on children, that's their opportunity to go and try to, move in on that child, because they know the grown-ups not paying attention because they're having too much fun. So I feel like if they're setting boundaries and they're making sure the relationship stay healthy and safe, I would have to see that if I'm in the midst of that, like they're putting the children out of harm's way, or they're putting the children in a child's place and not in a grown person and grown people situations. That's how I feel like I would feel that I'll be able to tell if the relationship stay healthy and safe at the same time. Because a healthy relationship, you're gonna make sure that that child's safe no matter what, no matter who around, what's going on. You're gonna make sure that child's safe, whether it's in your home or when y'all go to someone else's home. You're gonna make sure that them babies are safe. And that makes it stay healthy. That's because they won't be attacked mentally with that, stay in that place of being shown away or quiet, or just been had that little issue dealt with them. They won't have to deal with it. So that's how I feel. If someone else feel different, I would love to hear what you say about that. If you feel different. Miss Suzette said, I would call child services on the parent, contact the other parent, ask they will. I would too. Yes, I would too. I most definitely would. Mm-hmm. And Crypto said, older men that date younger women for various reasons, including perceived vitality, fertility, and attractiveness. They might enjoy the energy and fresh perspective younger partners bring. Yeah, they could. But I don't think that's right, because there's a lot of older women out there that still, hold those same values. I think they just lust over them. I think they just see a way of having a way of form of control over these younger girls because, they're younger, half of them hadn't had children, and what they call them, they haven't been spoiled. That's what the man said on Color Purple, like, she ain't spoiled. It's just all that old crazy stuff. And they just want to be there to be with them young girls. They want to be the first ones to lay with them. They want to be the first one to do everything with them. So to me, they offer them stuff to kind of wind them in. And a lot of times it don't be the men after the younger girls now. A lot of the young girls are attracted to these older men because of what the men can do for them. Because of what the men, say they can do. And they want a quick handout. They want to get the nails done, the hair done. They want to buy the clothes. They want the house, the car. But they don't know a lot of that stuff going to come with a lot of backlash, from the men, because they go control, they go abuse, physically, verbally, mentally, emotionally. All that stuff come with that. Because ain't no older man going to give you their money and you ain't going to be doing what they tell you to do. That's not going to work. That don't happen that way. I don't care who it is. I don't care who money it is. Old or young, you ain't finna get nobody money and think you're gonna do them any kind of way, any kind of how. Especially if they're calling you to come do this and that and those and them, you don't come. It's gonna be consequences. And a lot of these girls, 18, 20 years old, they the age in number, but you can talk to a child nowadays. You can tell if they're emotionally, grown. You can tell they're mentally grown just from having a conversation with them. Just because their age say they're grown, their mind or not, their mind's not. And let's just be real about it. Okay, Crypto said social and cultural influence can also play a role. Yeah, that's true. Emphasizing, yes, you're right. Yep, cultural influences. And that is so true. They do, and that plays like a big role too. Emphasizing the relationship. Yes, they do all of that. Deborah, you say make sure your teenager dress that part right there. Make sure your teenager dress appropriately. You know what? I know we okay, let's say this. A lot of the young girls who don't have jobs, right? And somebody got to be buying the clothes. If they're not buying their own clothes, you're buying the clothes. So sometimes most mothers have to be held accountable for that too. Because we can't let them go in there and just buy something we ain't looking at it. I know when we were coming up, we couldn't buy scrapless shirts. We couldn't wear the little spaghetti scraps too fast. We couldn't do none of that. Nope. We couldn't do none of that. But now, oh man, they doing a lot of that. I'm not knocking what nobody do for their children. They do what they feel like they want to do. But I feel like inappropriate dressing is a lot of the enticement to the men's as well. I feel like that's what they look at. That's what they look for. And these girls are just young, and they looking at all the attention they getting, and they loving it. But you have to be mindful what we let our girls dress, how we let them dress and what we let them do, outside when they're not with us. Mm-hmm. Crypto said a young woman might seek older partners for material. Yep, that we were just talking about. Benefits often influenced by not experienced stability or support at home. Yep. Some of them, don't have the daddy figures at home, the father figures. Yep, and that can shape their values a whole lot. It can shape their values so much that it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Prioritizing financial security. Yep. Maturity in relationship. Yep. And personal experiences as a play a role. Yes, all that play a role. Deborah said lustful. Yes, that's what they do. All them lustful experiences and stuff. They love that stuff. They love it. Mentally immature. They are mentally immature. And you have to just call it for what it is. If you knowing your daughter or you knowing, your niece or whomever it may be, when you have a conversation with them, if they are of age and you're having a conversation with them, they talking like they 10 or 11 years old, might even be 14 years old. You need to be trying to pay a close attention to that because you might be grown in age, but mentally you're not grown. You're not able to go out there and take on no world. The world gonna suck you up like a biscuit with some syrup on it. That's what it's gonna do. And let's just call it for what it is. These kids want to be grown so fast, and they be putting themselves in grown people situations where they should not be doing that. And sometimes we as grown adults, we allow that. We have to be held accountable for that because they can't do no more than we allow. And if they get to that point where they feel they're too grown to listen, then you let them, okay, you know what? Do what you feel like you got to do. You go out there and whatever happened to you, that's on you. It ain't on me because I don't try my best to tell you what I know to tell you. And that is what's right. It's okay to let these girls wear certain stuff, but I don't understand how some of these children are allowed to do so much, wear so much. And it just amazes me, but I'm not trying to knock nobody for what they're doing. This is my opinion. I'm not knocking nobody. If that's what you feel like you want to do for your child, let your child do. By all means necessary, you do it. But from the outside looking in, a little 15, 16, 17-year-old girl walking past with the halter top on, makeup on, the long hair, the little short like Daisy Duke shorts or the little mini skirt, you setting them up for the enemy to get them. Because if they get them, how they gonna fight them off? They can't because they're not strong enough. You have to be mindful because sometimes we set these children up for failure. Let's just be honest. Sometimes we set them up for the enemy. Okay, Crypto Mac Music say, if a young lady is wearing clothes that are too tight or small and her parents provide them, it might indicate that the parents aren't fully attentive to her needs or maybe prioritizing friendship over guidance. Yep. Now that you said a mouthful right there. A lot of them do want to be their children's friends instead of being the parent. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. The lack of appropriate support can impact her self-esteem and social development. It sure can. It definitely can. Hey, look, sis, Lakeisha Bush girl. She said the store doesn't make it no better. Sure don't. Everything out of belly shirts, and short shorts. Sure is. Sure is. Hey, sis Shane. She said facts. I see it every day. I know you see it because you at the school, right? I know it. It don't make sense. And some of these mothers, they're in their what? 30, early 30s. Some of them late 20s. They don't care. They don't care what these, and some of them, y'all know what I believe. I believe a lot of these mothers are living through their children. Because some of the stuff they didn't get a chance to do or allowed to do, they're living it through their children. That's why they feel like it's okay. And they let them do just whatever they want to do. That's why you have to be mindful what you have to watch these parents, y'all. You have to watch them. Because some of them ain't no better than the kids. Let's just throw it out there. They mind ain't no better than the kids, and they grown. They don't care. Their minds ain't no better. Then you tell them to the kids about it. They want to fight you about it. It's so sad. It's really sad. And like I said, with the viewer saying that the girlfriend put him out. For those of you who are just coming on, our topic tonight is, I had a viewer reach out to me about a topic that they want to talk about because they had endured this. They was dating a lady that had a son. He's about 20, 21 years old. The boyfriend had to move out the bedroom, and she done let her son move in the bedroom. It kind of like she don't switch roles. She don't allow the son. She fixing food, bringing food. She feeding him, doing stuff for him, and she done kind of neglected the boyfriend and don't want nothing to do with the boyfriend. So some of those things go on where some of the mothers are having sexual relationships with their sons, and and you can't say it ain't happening because we know for a fact that some fathers are having sexual relationship with their daughters. So we can't neglect now the women ain't doing the same thing. They doing it too. We just don't hear about it as often. But this viewer, witnessed it firsthand. So they wanted to know, what do you all feel about that? How do y'all feel if a mother put the boyfriend out the room, included her 21-year-old son into the bedroom, and have him in there with her, closed doors and everything? And he just felt like something wasn't right. So y'all come on and chime in on that one. He really would like to know what y'all feel about that. Because we know about men that does it to the daughters, but we never hardly hear about the mothers doing it to the sons, which we know is happening. We know it's happening. I'd like to hear somebody input on that. Let's see what do y'all feel about that. How do y'all feel about that? It's just crazy. And something we don't want to talk about, but we have to talk about these things in order to break some of this stuff off. We have to talk about it. Ain't no more shoving nothing under the rug. We ain't Big Mama and them way back in the day. We ain't leaving it in the house and not telling all this stuff. We exposing stuff this season so this enemy can know he ain't got no room to do nothing else. He getting away with too much, and we're allowing him to. And we are allowing him to. Okay, let's go to the next question while we're waiting on y'all to chime in on that factor about the mother and the son sleeping together, just like the father sleeping with the daughters. Number 3 question is, what are some feelings that you might have if you notice something isn't right in a family relationship? And why is it important to trust those feelings? What are some feelings you might have if you notice something isn't right? If you know something isn't right within the family, as far as like fondling sexually, if you feel like it ain't right, and you feel like the relationship isn't right, why is it so important to trust what you're feeling, what you're picking up, what your intuition kicking in? Why is it important to trust those feelings? Why do you feel like it's important? Why do you feel like it's important to trust those feelings at all times? Why do you feel it is important to trust those feelings? I feel like it's important to trust those feelings because of the child. I feel like because they might been told, you can't say nothing, don't say nothing. You better not say nothing. So if you got the intuition that something ain't right, I feel like you should say something. That's my feeling about it. I wouldn't care who it is. Mama, daddy, sister, brother, whomever. I feel like you should say something about it. Because like I said earlier, if you don't stop it, it's going to continue to happen and it's going to get worse. And it's going to get worse. Let's just call it for what it is. It's going to get worse. You have to be mindful who you let around your children. You have to be mindful of that. And like the viewer was saying, he just noticed that something wasn't right. He looking at it as though like, wow, I can't even go in there and sleep in the room, but the son is in the room. But mind you, he's not an abusive person to the female. He wasn't abusive to her. Did everything he's supposed to do as a male, to a relationship to the female, as boyfriend, girlfriend. He was everything she needed in that. He was very respectful. He never, like I said, he never beat her. He never took from her. He never called out her name. None of that stuff. But the son, it like she reversed the roles. It like something happened, and it like I guess something just couldn't stay that way no longer. It couldn't stay that way no longer. So Deborah say, so at what age is it no longer okay to have your kids sleep with you? Girl, listen, Deborah, I feel like kids shouldn't sleep with the parent at least after 5 years old. But we know some kids still kind of get in the bed or whatever, and they sleep, 6, 7, 8 years old. Cause I know my little boy, he 8, and sometimes he'll come in there, he'll be talking to us, he'll fall asleep in the room with us, and sometimes I be too tired to even get up and put him in the bed. But it's not like he just sleeping with the. He have his own room, but I feel between the ages of about 5 years old, yeah, I think so. And this young man was 20 or 21 years old in the room with his mother. And then some inappropriate things, wasn't sitting right or wasn't looking right around the boyfriend. And he started noticing. So, he had to pick up, and say, you know what, with everything else going on around this relationship, plus, in this bedroom, you and him together all the time, I got to go. And I feel like he did the right thing. If that's the case, you look, exit the building real quick. Exit real quick. Yes, he was definitely, you're right, he was definitely too old. He was too old. Okay, some of y'all viewers, what's an appropriate age the kids should stop sleeping with the parent? What age? At what age should they stop sleeping with their parents? I sure want to hear this one. Just put a number in the chat, And we know that some kids are, be scared and afraid, and they so used to, especially if it's just especially sometimes when it's just a mother and a child. And, sometimes you do feel like you want the child near you, because if you and that child are children in the home, you want them to be in the room where you at, just in case something happens, which I get that. But when you have, the spouse in the home and you have either the boyfriend, girlfriend in the home, I don't feel like it should be, the child shouldn't be there. And if they used to being there, kind of wean them out. Crypto said any sexual relationship between a parent and an adult, regardless of age, is considered incestuous and is illegal in many places. Such relationships can be deeply harmful emotionally and physically. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Miss Tanya. Hey, sis, how you doing? One every closed eye ain't sleep. You better say something. You're absolutely right. Every closed eye ain't sleep. Now, that's true. I done heard that before. That is so true. And see, some of this stuff, we have to call it for what it is. And like I said, we always talk about the men sleeping with the daughters, but we never hear about the mother sleeping with the son. And that is going on as well. They just don't talk about it. And I seen a show back here not too long ago where this ex-wife was talking about how the mother, she was dating the son. They were married. And once they got married, they would go over to the mother's house, and she started noticing inappropriate action between the mother and the son. And come to find out, she said one day her husband actually approached her and wanted her to come into the bedroom with him and his mom. And they were actually sleeping together, the mother and the son. And she said she just left the whole marriage. She said she was done. She left the whole marriage. And she said she couldn't believe what she was seeing or what she was being asked to do. And she said from that day on, he had moved back in with his mother. But he sure did. And they end up asking her to be in the bedroom with them. Sure did. It's crazy, but it happens. It happens. Yes, it does. We just don't talk about it much between the mother and the sons, but we always talk about it between the fathers and the daughters. And let's just say it is. If it's the father and the daughters, it's the mothers and the son in some cases as well. Crypto said between 5 and 6 years old. Yeah, I agree with that. Between 5 and 6. Yep. Sister, okay, I'm doing good. Yes. Yes, Deborah, it was wild. The conversation was crazy. She said she couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Like, how in the world can I can't really get my mind phantom around a father doing it to his daughter. I can't phantom a mother that actually birthed the child, and you actually having a sexual relationship with your son. even your daughter, but your son, oh Lord, the son or daughter, that ain't right. That's nasty. That's a mental problem for you. You need to go seek some help from somebody. Cause whomever do that stuff, they need to get some help. They really need to get some help because it's not right. Yes, and crypto, like you said, it can be deeply harmful emotionally and psychologically. Yes, because it messes with them mentally. That is some trauma. Trauma. Mm-hmm. Trauma. And it's sad. It ain't getting no better. It's getting worse. And we need to get somebody to come on. We need to combat this stuff because we don't. He just gonna run rapid and think he can do whatever he want to do in this world. Let's go to the next question, y'all. Who could you talk to if you are worried about the way your family members are behaving with each other? Who could you talk to if you are worried about that? Now that's a good question because we just had um, a resilient chick brunch this following weekend, and the young lady that came and spoke for us this weekend, she was awesome, y'all. She got a phenomenal testimony from the age. She was on our podcast one time as well. But she also has a book. If y'all want to go and purchase her book, off Amazon, it's called My Pain is My Power. So Tanisha Bankston, if y'all want to go, y'all should go order her book. But at 5 years old, she was molested by her grandmother's boyfriend. He was like 30 some years old. And she was sharing with us how he, messed her up, physically. And she had to learn how to re-walk again, all that. And when she did tell, some family member was telling her she was lying. You see? Sometimes they don't believe you all because they want to keep covered up the person who they feel they want to love and they don't want to lose them and they're scared to be alone and all this other stuff. These babies ain't going to lie about stuff like that. They're not going to lie about stuff like that. And she said they was telling her that she was lying. And not only did they fail her that time, they failed her 5 more times after that with different men. So, somebody got to say something. So I would say if the family members won't listen to you, go outside the family and tell somebody. Because that's the problem. Everybody want to cover up stuff with family, but sometimes the family be the worst one. Let's just be honest about it. Sometimes family can be the worst ones. And then when you get to talking about it and stuff, they feel like you the problem. Miss Tanya said, that's how I feel about breastfeeding a child at the age of 4 or 5. Oh, Lord. You know what? 4 or 5, they shouldn't be breastfeeding no babies. That's a little miniature little child. 4 or 5 years old. Not no breastfeeding. And another thing too that I've been seeing, they've been posting on Facebook in different little places. I don't know if y'all seen it, but y'all tell me if y'all seen it before. These men who holding the babies and the babies thinking that it's their mother's breast, that they have, and I guess those must be breastfed babies, and they sitting there recording and talking about something. They think I'm the mother. Well, if you know they think that the mother, why you ain't got a shirt on? Why you ain't stopping it? To me, I feel like that's so perverted. They shouldn't have that baby doing that. And I said they should have turned them in. They should have turned them in for that. Letting the baby sit up on them like that and feel like and then they're going to say, well, they think I'm the mama. They think this the mother's breast and all that stuff. And you sitting there allowing the baby to sit there and latch on to you like that. And you're not the mother. You don't breastfeed, but you're going to sit and let the baby latch on to you. You should have seen that baby when she was trying to get to you. He should have pulled away, could have put a shirt on, anything. That's why I say that there's these little perverts that sit right up under you. They right in our faces. We just have to be more discerning on what's going on around us, whether it's outside the family. Most definitely have to watch inside the family. Hey, sis Jackie girl. Hey, lady. Yes. Thank y'all for joining, everybody who's on. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining the Ladies Podcast. And like I said, on Sundays, y'all come join Sis Deborah. She's on with Just Conversation at 6 o'clock. We have on Mondays myself, with the Resilient Chick on the Ladies podcast at 7 o'clock. And we have Tuesday, we had Talk to Him for Lisa, and she'll be on at 6 o'clock on Tuesdays. And then Wednesday, her and Deborah come back on Wednesdays, and they'll have their conversation. So y'all come on, look, like, share, and tag on our YouTube station, the Ladies Podcast. Share it with somebody. Tell them to like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have y'all. We would love it to have y'all in. So on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not Thursday, y'all. I don't know what Thursday come from, but anyway, on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can get one of us ladies, and you all is always a conversation about life things, things that happening in the world. So y'all come on, join us. We would love to have y'all. Sis Tanya said, this is why people won't come forth when things are happening to them. A school counselor or a teacher that they have confidence in. Teachers and counselors have a duty to report. Now that is true. They really do. I don't know if Sis Shine's still on here or not. And I think, Sis Shine, aren't you a counselor if you on here? Because I know one thing. I know Sis Shine now. I know if she hear anything, I know she is gonna report. I know she will. I know she's stern like that. But there are some, Sis Tanya, that don't report, and they know. You know why? Because some of them know the family, and they don't tell. They will not tell it. Because there's an issue I know concerning a situation here that happened with a student, and they reported to the counselor, and the counselor didn't relay it because she knew the guy that was doing it. She knew his family, and that don't make it right. That don't make it right. It don't matter who it is. You should be able to tell if it's something wrong. You should be able to tell it. And for all y'all who just coming on, who didn't know the topic tonight, it was she got to be screwing her son because a viewer reached out to me and asked to talk about this topic because they had endured it. They was in a relationship with the mother for years, and her son now is between age 20 and 21, and he ended up moving out of the bedroom, and the son moved into the bedroom, door closed and everything, and she feeding him and everything just like that. So the discernment came to where he felt like something wasn't right. And then she started, treating him a different type of way, not emotionally like connected like they used to be, but it was like a withdrawn. And, you can kind of tell that's sort of like in a relationship with another. If you're a woman, you're in a relationship with a man, and you got another man on the side, you kind of like lose interest in what you got, and you kind of pull interest to where, the new interest. And that's like it is with a man. When he got a wife or girlfriend, if he picked up his side chick, he kind of like slow interest out of who he have, and he put most interest to the next person. So that's kind of what he was enduring. And he started watching things, back and forth, and just things wasn't right. And he felt like you got your 20-some-year-old son in the bedroom. That's just too much. That's just too much. Sis Jackie said that's a handicap of a small community. It is. Very handicapped. Very handicapped. I think she should be charged as well for holding information. I do too. I think that, yes, ma'am. Especially if that child spoke it up and told them, and they didn't report it, they need to be held accountable too. After the fact, I think they should be held too. Miss Tanya said the counselor can be held accountable for not reporting it if that child says they told. Really? Well, that's a good thing to know, because I just said that she need to be held accountable too. But this one here, she wasn't held accountable because she never told it, and they never spoke on it. And different people was talking about it, and they just never did, bring it to life. And I don't think that was right either, because in the end, the child suffered from it. I wouldn't care who these people is. Tell it. Because these babies can't think for themselves. That's why, it's so much, depression and suicide going on now. So much depression and suicide. And somebody got to be here to help these babies. These kids ain't strong-minded like we were. I ain't saying I was strong, a lot when I was young, but I'm quite a lot stronger than some of these kids. Because if you were to look up the suicidal, age for stuff now, and it's young for a lot of kids. They can't take it. A lot of the bullying and stuff, they can't take all that stuff. And somebody got to listen to them. Somebody got to listen to the babies. And if they all won't listen to them, you get in a position to where they'll feel safe talking to you. And I feel like some of these men need to step up too and really be some good fathers for these young girls, because some of these young girls going through because they're looking for their fathers. And they're not gonna find their fathers in these men. These men gonna train them, and they're gonna sit there and they're gonna what they call them. They're gonna clone them to be what they want them to be. Mm-hmm. And the next question is, why is it important to pay attention to how family members treat each other and speak up if something doesn't seem right? Why is it so important, y'all, to pay attention to how family members treat each other? Why is it so important for that? And speak up if something doesn't seem right. I feel like it's very, very, very important to pay attention to how family members treat each other, because if you got children in the families that's seeing how family members treating each other, that's gonna make the children start picking sides, especially if it's your child, especially if it's the other person's child. And don't mention if them children is closer to this set of family members than they are the other family members, that's gonna cause a whole bunch of controversy. That's gonna cause a whole bunch of mess, So I feel like it's important to pay attention how family members treat each other, because if they see that they're not treating each other right in an appropriate manner, that's where a lot of disrespect can start coming in at. And if it ain't right, some other adult that don't engage in that within the families, they need to start speaking up on that, and either calling family meetings, get on a family call or something. Somebody need to be old enough and grown enough to speak on and say, listen, this ain't right. We got to pay attention to this. This don't seem right. We got to stop saying this. Y'all got to stop saying that. It's just time out for families from being apart and start coming together and doing stuff together. Because the way families set up now with some families, everybody else is so scattered. And the way I say that, because if you got, I don't know if y'all remember these games called like the jacks, right? And the reason I say the jacks is because you can get all the little jacks and put them together in a little cluster, and you got this one big old ball, and you just drop that ball in the middle of that, and all little jacks go scattered everywhere, right? So I feel if you do that, if you got the family that was really close, and one big ball just come down, one big altercation just come down, and it just splatter everybody, every different direction. Ain't nobody together. Can't nobody talk to nobody. Can't nobody sit in nobody's child or children. They don't have conversations. They don't go visit each other anymore. It's like the family just wrong. And when you do it like that, anything can easily come in and start, causing children to get, what we're talking about, like inappropriate touching and a lot of stuff. You just let a lot of enemy come in, because ain't nobody paying attention to what's really going on with everybody in their own little sector. Everybody doing their own little thing, and ain't nobody paying attention. Nobody. So that's why you have to say, as a family, it don't matter who come in the family. And sometimes it's in the family. If you know if something ain't right, you need to speak on it. You need to talk about it, and you need to tell it. Because if that family member doing it to a family member, they can be doing it to somebody outside the family as well. So if you can protect somebody else's, you need to at least try to protect yours too. Hey, Miss Brittany, thank you for joining. As Nika say, it's very important. Yes, it's very important. It's very important. I hear some people like, I don't deal with my family, da 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 da. But let something happen. I promise you, your family gonna be there, especially the ones who really care. You might not deal with them. You might not talk to them. Let something happen. You'll see the real ones. That's who's gonna be there. Jackie say, when a person is being inappropriately treated, they will withdraw when that person is around. Yep. Now that the adult situation I've never seen, but out of line is out of line. Absolutely. Out of line is just out of line. Out of line is just out of line. Hey, Miss Pearly Lane, thank you for joining. She said, amen. Yes. And like I said, with this situation with the Vera saying how the mother is appropriately like having too much of an intimate relationship with her son, that's crazy. That is crazy. Like I said, if the fathers are sleeping with their daughters, you can rest assured some of these mothers sleeping with their sons too. We just don't hear about it. But I'm quite sure it's some cases, because I did hear of a case like that from a show. Well, it was an interview show, and they were interviewing this lady about the situation. So that's kind of how I heard about it. And I was just blown away about how he married this lady, and stayed married to her for a few months, and then he wanted to introduce her into the bedroom with him and his mom. That's crazy. Your mom? Oh Lord. It's already sick for the dads to be doing it to the daughters. And now you got the mothers here doing it to the sons. I got 3 boys. Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way. I got 3 sons and 2 bonus boys. 2 bonus sons. I couldn't see it. What'd you say? What'd you say, said Jack? Girl, I just can't. Nope. And sis Tanya said, "You are right, sis Jackie. Yep, it can be the same reaction with adults. That person will leave the room, the house, the party, whatever, and never speak to that person as well. They sure will." And the thing about it, y'all, think about it. If you do have someone in the family that would speak out about it, some family will get mad with the other family member for speaking out about it. Do y'all think that's crazy, or do y'all think that it should have just stayed in the family and just dealt with it within the family? I need to understand somebody else's opinion about this before I speak about mine. It's a lot of this going on, y'all. I'm telling you, it's a lot of grown women today that's living with a lot of that stuff, a lot of that trauma from their younger years, and a lot of them living with that little girl with on the inside of them, whether she's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, however old she was when it happened. Whatever the trauma was, she's still dealing with that little girl if she hadn't been healed. You have to be healed from this stuff, because it made me think when the viewer asked to talk about this topic, had that mother ever went through that as a child? What have she went through as a child to make her act the way that she acted inappropriately with her son? Was anybody ever inappropriate with her and she never healed from it? Was she ever traumatized with some kind of trauma, with a sexual trauma? You know, did she feel like, she didn't want to have the separation with her son? She wanted that closeness. It's a lot of questions that can go behind it. It's a lot of women, grown women, living with this trauma within themselves. And that's why a lot of them act out the way they act out and do the things that they do, because of what they went through and they never talked about it. Let's just be real about it. It's time out for people to be sitting here seeing stuff and not addressing it. It's time out for women to still be holding on to what they went through in life, but God brought them out and they're not talking about it. They just want to keep everything hush, hush, quiet, quiet. Don't say nothing at all. I'm just gonna live with it. I'm just gonna fake it till I make it. We gonna smile. We're gonna put on the mask. Hey, we're gonna put on the facade like we all good. We're gonna dress it up. We're gonna make it look real pretty. We're gonna put our high heels on. We're gonna strut, and we're gonna do all that. But guess what? Still broken. Still broken. Still broken. You wake up broken. You going through every day, all day long broken. You laying down broken. And you just repeating that cycle every day. It's like a repeated, like a wheel. It's just going around, around, around in a circle. And you ain't trying to break it. And sometimes you need to be trying to get those, what they call it? You need to get those wire cutters and cut the chain off so you can break that cycle. It's time for a lot of these women to come out their silence and talk about their trauma. See, Jackie said, we have to always consider that making other people carry the backpack of old hurt. Absolutely. Can you imagine the event that I had this weekend? I suppose I did demonstration, but God moved so that we didn't even get to do that part of it. So, I'm not going to get in God's way. But it was about a book bag, and everybody had to write down something on a bottle of water on what they dealt with. And when I walk past, they're supposed to just put the water in the book bags. And can you imagine carrying around all that weight all the time? Can you imagine carrying all that weight, but you're still looking pretty, you're still greeting people, you're still praying for them, you're still going to work, you're still showing up. You still showing up for everybody else but yourself. You still showing up for everybody except yourself. Aren't you tired of crying? And like I said, this woman with her son, that's inappropriate. Inappropriate. I think she needs some mental help. I think she needs to go seek a therapist because something ain't right. Something is not right. She needs to seek help. She needs to seek a therapist, and I feel like she needs to get help for her son as well because she don't know how that traumatizing to him. Sis Tanya said, I don't care. I'm that person that will speak out. See, good. I know you will. People are still living with that old thing. What happened in the house stays in the house. Yep. Sometimes the woman will blame her daughter for enticing the man. You better speak about it and turn against the daughter or child because they don't want to lose that man. A broken mother often sometimes will break their children. Yes, she will. And a lot of times you look at these mothers too and look at the way their children are. It's because she need to go back and evaluate her past life and see that the trauma she endured, and if she's not healed, she done pass that down to her children, and now they doing the same thing. They living the same type of life that the mother did because of the way the mother treated them, and it begins to be a generational thing. It began to be generational, and you wonder why some of these kids act the way they act, why some of these grown people act the way they act, because some of these mothers in their 50s and 60s and 70s, they were hurt and had a lot of trauma themselves. Let's just talk about it. I remember me and my cousin I told this story before. We was working at the health store one day, and we was talking about, women being abused and stuff. And these two old ladies came in. The one was in her, she said, I think she was like 69, the other one like 71. And we was talking about it. And so the older one came back around, and she stood there and she said, I'm sorry to interfere with you all conversation. She said, but I heard y'all. And she said, that happened to me. She said, my dad abused me. And she said, I never told my mom. She said, but my sister back there, and I protected my sister, so I sacrificed myself all the time when he tried to come in and get my sister. And she said, I never told my mama to, and she dead and gone. She said, but I live with it every day until this the first day I spoke out about it. Can you imagine being in your 70s, still walking around with that trauma? And what you feel like is supposed to be embarrassment? Can you imagine walking around that all your life with that? Oh man. And then that stuff trickles down, and it seems like that same spirit tends to draw and connect itself with the next child, on down and on down. And it's sad. I think some of them mothers in their 50s, 60s, and 70s should seek therapy too, because they can't say that ain't nothing wrong. Because I'm quite sure somewhere along the line you can tell where they are a little off in their in their actions as well. Miss Tanya said, show enough yes, generational curses. See, Jackie said, I realized what my mom went through a lot. I broke that curse. Hey, good, said Jackie. Amen. Yes, when you realize listen, I have a mom, whomever on here have a mom, or whom mom is no longer here had a mom, and we know our parents. We know some of the stuff we saw them grow up in. And some, let me say, we were talking the other day, me and some more friends, and we was talking. I said, some of these mama act like that mom. They can hold stuff. They ain't gonna tell it. They ain't gonna shift nothing. They gonna keep that straight poker face. You will never know. But we be knowing because some people talk, but they ain't gonna say nothing. And they sitting there battling with that stuff in their mind, their bodies, and all that stuff. That ain't good. That's why I feel like this mother that offer her child in the bedroom with her and gonna put the boyfriend out, and he ain't never did nothing to her. That's strange. She needs some help. So I don't understand. I get him. I understand why he exited the building, because it wasn't gonna be nothing that he can do, especially with her feelings. If she got a feeling towards her son, like I said, if we know the fathers doing to their daughters, it's some mothers doing to their sons as well. We just don't hear about it. Deborah said, yes, it is. Yes, it will. Yep. And I've heard stories of teachers, grown teachers, and some of these teachers are retired. They will actually sleeping with the students. And y'all come on it. And you know what? They should be praising God every day. And I pray they repented for it. Because how would they like it if somebody did it to their daughters or their son, you know? And these are women teachers. Women teachers sleeping with guy students. And they retired teachers. And you look at them like, what? Y'all did what? I hope they repented for it. Sis Tanya said, Lord Jesus, y'all, this happens way more than we can imagine. Yes, it does. A lot of times the one that's being abused will protect the younger child and just take the hit. Yep, that what the older lady told us. She protected her little sister. Y'all don't understand how y'all freed the elder woman on that day. God is amazing. Yes, God is amazing. And she said, I never talked about it. She said, but I feel good, just telling y'all about it. She said, but that's my sister. I always protect my sister. And this lady, her sister was 69, she was 71. Yeah, they were just a mess. Yep, them teachers, yes, ma'am. And it's going on. We just hear about it every now and then on television. But some of these, yeah. It's happening. Somebody got to talk about this stuff. They lusting over our babies, y'all. And it's coming from somewhere. It's stemming from somewhere. So I feel like with the viewer that reached out to me about this topic, they felt like something wasn't right. They knew something wasn't right. And they exited the building. So if anything ever came up, they won't be involved. And I don't blame them. I would have got out the way too. Especially when you have a conversation with her, he was having with her, telling her about it, and she talking about she didn't see nothing wrong with it, leave it alone. They're never gonna agree to it. Never. So I feel like in a time like this, it ain't time to sit back and be quiet. It ain't time to sit back and don't say nothing at all. It ain't time to sit there and hold your trauma unless God release you to tell it. But if God brought you through it, your testimony just isn't for you. It's for somebody else. Because if you're strong enough and you get out of it, you need to help tell your testimony so that weak person can hear it to give them strength. That's how I feel about it. Sis Tanya said, God put y'all in that place to have that conversation at that time so she can. Yes. I truly believe that. She was 71 years old and that hurted me so bad. And that's why I say there's a lot of women now today, 50, 60, and 70 years old, still walking around with trauma that happened to them. Whether it happened with the dad or whether it happened with the mom, it don't actually have to be sexual. It can be like physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, just being mistreated altogether. Because ain't all parents good parents now. Let's say that. All parents aren't good parents. There's some low-down parents out here. Let's just talk about it. It's some low-down, dirty parents out here. And I hate it when them women put their daughters out for these men. That's why I say, if any men on here, y'all get close to y'all daughters. And be there for your daughters. Because if you ain't there for them, guess what? Oh, the enemy gonna suck them up like, okay. And when you get to and another thing, y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I see some guys on my Facebook page, right, sometimes, when they're putting even some mothers, they put a birthday announcement out, right, about their daughter's birthdays or whatever. Why do they go and pick the most provocative pictures to put up there talking about wishing my baby a happy birthday, wishing my firstborn a happy birthday, and they go get the most provocative pictures to put up there? Ain't she got a picture where she's sitting in the car, a headshot or something? Why got to be a full body picture with her having some Daisy Duke shorts on, a V-cut shirt, real tight, high heels on with a little skirt, little bodycon skirt? Why do they do that? You mean tell me you had no time to go through your daughter pictures and you gonna go pick up those pictures and put up there? Who you putting up there for? For you looked at that, or you putting up there for somebody else look at your daughter like she bad? My daughter this, my daughter made her like this and that and those and them. Why would you do that? If you go, Gary, that's a conversation for another day. I ain't understanding. You have to discipline, but show love to keep the communication line open. Yep. Sis Tanya said, yes, ma'am, that's the truth. I'm telling you, it's just a lot, y'all. I don't understand why they do that. I know it. I mean, it might not be for me to understand, but to me, it don't look right. They advertise their children and then want to cry and kill someone when something happened to them. God forbid, Sis Tanya. That's it right there. They advertise their children. And sometimes I wonder, do they advertising for themselves? Like you say, advertising for somebody else. Ain't no way you as being a father, you going to wish your daughter a happy birthday. And you going to sit up there and put the most provocative pictures up there. The most pictures that got it cleavage showing, short skirt, dress, short pants, whatever. High heels. I'm quite sure she got some headshots or some with her in some t-shirts, some jogging pants or something that we're still looking cute. I'd be wondering about this stuff. I ain't joking. I'd be wondering about that because ain't no way. Even if she had that on, can't you crop it out and just show her face? I think they advertise to let somebody see what they got. So Jackie said, exactly. I ain't buying that for my child today. I ain't either. I just understand 15, 16, 17-year-old, you up there putting it up there about your child like that. No. If they don't put it up by themselves, I don't feel like the father should do it. Nope. That made me think differently. Like you actually took the time out to go through there. And then if they got a girlfriend or a wife, they put their pictures up there with them and they ain't got half of the stuff on. You know what? That's a whole nother different conversation. That's a whole different conversation. But like I said, I don't think it's right for the mother to be sitting there and having an inappropriate, relationship with her son. And the boyfriend, he just got put out the whole game. I don't understand that. Jackie said, even my teenage client know they can't have color or inner hair longer than 20 inches. Okay. I don't blame you. You have to set some kind of standards before 18, exactly. Miss Tanya says she have a nonprofit girl mentor group. And in the beginning of the new year, I'm having a girls' fashion show teaching them girls to dress appropriately. Y'all stay tuned. Okay, yes, most definitely. This is what I say. You don't have to be loud in the crowd. This is what I tell the little girl. You don't have to be loud in the crowd, and you don't have to be naked to be noticed. You don't have to be naked to be noticed. You can be fully clothed, looking real pretty, and be looking just the cutest you want to be. You don't have to go out there and show your stuff just because you made up pretty and nice. That is all well. Don't get me wrong. But at an appropriate age, you do that. But if you ain't appropriate, don't do that. Hey, Wanda Sherrod, thank you for joining. A lot of parents are their kids' friends. Yep, just said that earlier. And I would tell mine, don't get it twisted because I'm not your friend. I'm your mom. You're so right. Nothing but, I'm telling you, it's sad. And when I get ready to go full fledged with my little girls group, there's going to be a lot of that talking going on. Listen, you can be saved and covered and still be beautiful. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I'm telling y'all, it's a lot because these little girls go through a lot. And some of them, that's all they know. That's the only way they know how to dress is because what they see. Kids are taught learned behaviors. So whatever they see, that's what they're going to do. Whatever they hear, that's what they're going to speak. So some of them are real wise, and they're not going to do it. But for the ones that are weaker, they're going to dwell in that. They're going to see that. They're going to do it. So that's why you have to make sure you have somebody around your children that's going to set the example. Because you ain't got somebody around your children that send a good example, a positive example, they're going to pick up on that negative stuff. Some of them going to come withdrawn and some of them going to go on out there with it. So you have to be mindful who you have around your kids. And the next subject next Monday is a great one. And it's going to all kind of coincide with this. So I'm telling y'all, we got work to do. It ain't time to sit back and just like, I ain't going to say nothing. I don't want nobody mad with me. I wouldn't care if you did get mad with me. And ain't got to never say my name no more. I ain't never got to call my number or nothing else. If it's going to help save that baby, that's what I'm going to do. It don't matter who it is. Yep, the parents buy the stuff for them because they live a virtuous life through their children. Yes, especially if they have low self-esteem in their 10 years. We just were talking about that earlier. A lot of mothers live their lives through their children, through their daughters. Yep. Because of some of the stuff they didn't get a chance to do. Like you say, low self-esteem in their 10 years and they living it through their kids. Absolutely. You have to be mindful. You can't tell some of them that you ain't gonna tell me what to do for my kid, my child. I might not can tell you that. You're right. You're absolutely right. But as that child get older, if they don't learn some sense for themselves, you set them up for failure. You have to teach them. You have to teach them. You have to show them and you have to teach them. No one telling them what's right and what's wrong. And see, I got grown boys, except for one, but I even tell them what's right and wrong. If they don't take heed to what I tell them, guess what? It ain't on me no more. It's on them. They have to live that life. I can't live that life for them no more. They 31, 30. Soon to be 31, no, 30 and 32. They soon to be 31, 33. They got their own life. Whatever decision and they make, it's on them. But I pray for them all the time, and I pray they make the right decisions, but we're not always with them. So I'm not, nope. Okay, Deborah said, I like that saying. I'm serious. Miss Tanya said, I mentor these young mothers too. If you don't want me to say nothing, don't let me see it. I'm trying to tell you. Don't let me know it. Because I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad, then the thing going to happen. You're going to sit there and still be with that man, and you're going to stay with that man. I'm going to be hot with that man because what he done did and said and done. And then you're going to get mad with me because I'm mad with him because of what he did. Nope. I tell you what. The woman, the viewer that reached out about this topic, I'm glad they got out because I don't tell them where they're finna go. But the mother, I pray she seeks some help. She needs a therapist. And I pray she gets some help for her son as well. Because I know that's traumatizing for him. And thank you all for joining tonight. Because it's stuff need to be talked about. Like I say, the ladies podcast, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is always a conversation going on about something that's going on in the world. Something that's life issues, community issues, or whatever. On Sundays, you got Deborah. Come on with her, just conversation. I'm on Monday night, the resilient chick. Come on with me, talking about life issues. You got Tuesday, talk to him, Felisa. She coming on talking about issues, in the world and life or whatever. And then you got Wednesday night. You got Deborah and Felisa to come back on those 2 nights. And y'all come on, Bill. Between Sunday and Wednesday, you got somebody that's on here that's talking about something. Somebody on here talking about something. And I can't wait till next Monday. Next Monday's topic is awesome. It's awesome too. So let's say if you see it, speak on it. If it's not right, don't worry about nobody else feeling. You got to think about these kids because they're the next generation. They're growing up. You don't want it to happen to them. So to that viewer that asked about this question, what people feel about that, they say it's not right. So y'all take heed to your surroundings when you're around families and stuff like that, family meetings and stuff, family parties and stuff like that. Just pay attention to who's there, who's in the room, what they're doing, how they're interacting with the kids, how they're interacting with the children. Keep an eye on that because kids don't forget anything. And look, y'all like, share, and subscribe to our channel. The Ladies Podcast is on YouTube. We'd love to have y'all. Share it with somebody. We have other shows that have been recorded. You can go back and rewatch them, and like them. We'd love for that if y'all to do that. So we just thank y'all for being a part of us tonight, the Ladies Podcast. And we'll see y'all on next Monday at 7 o'clock for the next topic on the Ladies Podcast with the Resilient Chick. We back and we ready to load. We ready to go ahead and fire. So y'all come on through and be with us because, hey, we ain't sitting back. We ain't being quiet no more. We ain't sitting there letting these things go on and we not speaking on it. If you don't want it to be exposed, you better stop doing it because this is exposure season because God doing it. Well, I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for joining, and we'll see y'all next time on the Ladies Podcast at 7 o'clock on Monday and 6 o'clock on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Y'all be blessed, and y'all just keep us in prayer. And look, we love y'all, and then y'all can do about it. Thank y'all so much. Y'all be blessed. Love you too, sis. Thank you, sis Jackie. Yes, I got to post some pictures tonight, so I'll get some stuff up. I've been so full ever since, but I'm excited. And I got another song coming up in January. Ooh, I'm super excited about that one. So yes, I'll keep y'all posted. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed night.